about this tactic that every narcissist will use at some point to keep whoever it is that they've been taken advantage of trapped. Okay. So I want to talk about what is called the hope trap, or what we will call the hope trap. I believe it's another term for it, but for simplicity purposes or clarification purposes, it's really what you can say is a hope trap. And if you don't understand what it is, it's when or I'm gonna just say when a narcissist or an abuser, when that person that have done the dirt to you, they have given you the business, they have made your life hard, they have made your life miserable. What they will do is, when they realize or sense that you are about to give up on them, or you are done, or you fed up with their foolishness, now they want to give you small tokens of hope. Now they want to give you small glimpses of hope, okay, to keep you, to have you thinking, because they're going to know based on how kind you've been to them in the past and how hopeful you've been with them in the past. They're going to believe that when they give you these tokens and these glimpses of hope, that you're going to believe them, you're going to get comfortable with them again, you're going to keep that door of trust open or access open to them, because the worst thing you can do to a narcissist is not allow them access to you. The worst thing you could do to somebody that has taken advantage of you, whether it's in your family, whether it's a person that's supposed to be a friend or a significant other, anyone that is narcissistic or manipulative concerning you, the worst thing you can do is shut off that access to them. That's the worst thing, and it puts them in a state of feeling defeated. And that's the biggest checkmate. So, y'all, when I get on here talking about narcissists and manipulative people, jealous people, 'cause my goal is to help y'all checkmate. My goal is to help y'all checkmate. And I'm so excited to share the things that I wish somebody would have taught me as a child. But y'all, I went through the process. So I share these gems with y'all, because when you grow up in a family that's narcissistic or dysfunctional, there's certain things you're not going to learn. And the enemy uses whoever will not submit themselves to God as an instrument to blind you, to keep you from being who God has called you to be. And that's why a lot of people grow up trying to find themselves, struggling and feeling like they're not enough, when God has already made you for purpose. He's already put everything in you that you need to succeed. But when the enemy finds out or recognizes you're that one that God is going to use to shut down his plans, what he's going to do, he's going to try to deceive you in the mind and have you think that you're less than, you're subpar, and things like that. So one of the ways the enemy does this is through people. And you got to understand, a narcissist really is help fulfilling the assignment of the devil, which is to kill, steal, and destroy. Jesus points this out in John 10:10. Okay, to kill, steal, and destroy. So anytime somebody goes to manipulate you, they're robbing you of something. Either it's to kill your destiny, to destroy your faith, destroy your confidence, to the enemy is out to ruin whatever he can, because he knows he has no more future with God. All right. So that's why we got to become aware of the enemy's schemes. So we talk about a hope trap, again, we're talking about a person that knows that they have been abusing you, they've been getting on your nerves, they've been pushing you beyond the limit. And a narcissistic person will push you out the door and then try to drag you back if you allow them. And so one of the ways they do that is through a hope trap. They will tell you, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. I'm done with you," and things like that. And when they realize you about to take them on what they're saying, now all of a sudden, well, you know, we need to be better than that, or we need to talk about it, or we need to, um, I, they want to all of a sudden say all the stuff they should have been saying before. Okay. So I want to also let you know that this is spiritual. Okay. And I also will say again, I don't use the term narcissist in the exact alignment of a medical term, but there's people that fall under this description. And I think a lot of these narcissists will not go get checked out. They will not go and seek help when they realize that the way that they're treating people is dangerous. Okay. And that's why it's up to us to watch out for these folks that realize that something is wrong and they won't seek help. Okay. And this is why we also got to be careful. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been guilty of this before too, before I started realizing that when you say you crazy or you need a straight jacket, you something is wrong with you. If something is truly wrong with that person and they are a narcissist, because in a situation like that, when they provoke you to say things like that, then if they really need help, they're not going to really go and get help. That's why we got to be careful that even in our frustration, that might be true, that we don't say it to a point that they decide, well, you know what, because they automatically think a person that gets help is something wrong with them. But I want to encourage people, because all of us, we need to talk to somebody sometimes. We need counseling sometimes, or to work our way through things sometimes, especially when you go through that type of trauma. But a narcissist will have you think that it's crazy. A lot of people who are ignorant too. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, but people who are ignorant, meaning they don't know better, running from getting help is not going to solve anything. But a narcissistic person, because they don't want people to believe that they're crazy, even though they're doing crazy things, they're not going to go and get help. That's why we got to be careful to not say, well, you know, you crazy or whatever. Okay. Like I told you, I've done that before to a partner that was doing crazy stuff because I didn't know what to do in that moment. But then now that I've gotten away and I started learning about mental health and projection and all these things that I share from time to time, I realized that I wasn't helping him by telling him that. Okay. So those are some things to keep in mind. Now, like I said, it's spiritual. When you're dealing with a narcissist, it's spiritual. And Ephesians lets you know in Ephesians 6 and 16 to use the shield of faith for the fiery darts of the enemy. All right, keep that in mind. Fiery darts of the enemy, you need to use your shield of faith. That's why everybody needs a relationship with Jesus Christ, because it really do take the courage of Christ to help you to walk away from stuff like that. Okay. Also, I want to go to Proverbs 26 and 18, which lets us know that as a madman that casteth firebrand. All right, so you all, I apologize. I am very apologetic because the phone got heated up. All right, so again, I was talking about how when we look at Proverbs 24, no, Proverbs 26 and 18, how as a madman casteth firebrands, arrows, and death, so is a man that deceiveth his neighbor and say, am I not sport? And narcissists function just like that, okay? Narcissists functions just like that. Now, I wanted to go to the term firebrands because I told y'all to keep in mind Ephesians 6 and 16, it mentions using the shield of faith to quench the fiery darts of the enemy. And then when you go to Proverbs 26 and 18, there's an analogy being made to a madman, as a madman that's using firebrands and arrows and death. So when a person is out to get you, they're you, and the firebrand, when we're talking about it in terms of scripture, a firebrand is a burning arrow or a burning piece of wood that's used to launch at you. So if somebody was to throw a flaming piece of wood at you, they're not just throwing wood at you just to get you. They trying to burn you up. They trying to destroy you. And so this is what the enemy does through the narcissist, through the people that are manipulative, through the people that are not made right with God, through people that are spewing out toxicity and poison and stuff to ruin your confidence, to ruin your self-worth, or to keep you from acknowledging your self-worth. Because if you know who you are, you're going to walk strong. You're going to walk confident. You're not going to believe the lie of the enemy because you know what God says about you. But the devil tries to keep people who are stuck in these hope traps from knowing who they are. So the enemy will use different tactics when they can't take you out physically. Those that are on assignment for the enemy and the enemy as well. Whenever the enemy can't take you out physically, now they're going to try to get you inwardly. Okay. So another tactic too, so that we can be on the same page about this person using the hope trap, which is again, when you're getting tired of their foolishness and you about ready to leave, now they want to start talking good. And there's different dimensions to these to this hope trap. And I'm going to share it with y'all so that if you find yourself in a similar situation or a situation, you'll be aware of it. Okay. So Proverbs 26 and 24 tells you about the person that dissembleth with his lips. And then when you go to verse 25, the Bible says, believe him not when he speaks fair, because there are 7 abominations in his heart. So the Bible is telling you this person that you've known that goes around trying to separate people, because narcissists, what they like to do is try to isolate you from people. They like to tell people all the bad stuff about you, make up lies and paint a bad picture about you to other people so nobody want nothing to do with you. They'll even penalize you for reaching out for help and all this stuff. So the narcissists, they try to divide and conquer. All right. And you have, when you see a person do that, okay, you have to realize they have 7 abominations in their heart. When they all of a sudden they done did that, and all of a sudden now they done changed overnight. They have 7 abominations in their heart. And the main thing the narcissists want you to fall for is the lies that they're going to change. That's what keeps people in the hope trap, because they want you to believe that they're going to do better after they realize they've offended you or they went over and beyond. Or sometimes they may not even realize where you are, but just to make sure you don't think about leaving, they're going to reward you with small tokens of praise, maybe little gifts here and there or whatever, only to go back to what they were doing. But I want to let you know that the longer you stay with a person or in close proximity of a narcissistic person, the worse that it gets. It always going to get worse. And I'm going to tell you why it always gets worse. Because the narcissist gets comfortable too. They get comfortable too. They get comfortable in thinking that you're not going anywhere. And as long as they get worse and you keep putting up with the foolishness, and y'all, I'm not just talking about with a man or a woman or a relationship that's romantic. Anybody in your life that has taken advantage of you over and over, and when you give them that warning, they don't heed the warning. They don't think you're going nowhere. They just get worse because they feel like you're just going to keep covering them. Okay, you're just going to keep putting up the foolishness. So they use the hope trap because they feel that they need to make sure you're not going nowhere, because they feel or determined they're in your mind. And we're honest, they're probably they've been in our mind. We always hold out that hope, and that's why we tolerate their foolishness until today, because we're not doing it. All right. So if you're doing that today, this is the day. I don't care if you have to say it to yourself. This is the last time I'll be uninformed about this, because now we're gonna do something about it. Okay. And y'all, just and before I continue, y'all, even if you're not in this current situation now or you recognize it before, just think about it. Is it really fair to yourself, to someone that done dogged you out, and it took time to dog you out, hurt your feelings? You done went and tried to talk to them over and over. They dismiss your feelings. They act like you don't do that for them. They act like they the world. They the world to you, and they supposed to be the world to you, and the world revolves around them concerning you. And you the one bringing stuff to that relationship. And I'm not just talking about romantic. Again, narcissist is not, a lot of times when we talk about narcissism, we think it's just a romantic relationship. What we tolerate in a romantic relationship, it came somewhere from our past. Because a person that grew up whole and confident, They're going to recognize that stuff, and a narcissist ain't going to want to deal with it. Yes, a narcissist will try to wear a person down, but a person who is fully self-aware and who can see right through it, they're not going to let a narcissist do it. Okay, but a person that has been broken and you're running from pillar to post, you haven't fully healed. A lot of times, what you do with a narcissist is what you still do with your family. So these things are related. But if you're able to tell your family, deuces, I'm not putting up with your foolishness, guess what you're going to do to the narcissist? Okay, so the way we interact with our family normally is how we interact with other people. If we tolerate disrespect from our family or walk on eggshells with our family, normally we might do that somewhere with other people. Okay, so I wanted to point that out, and I also said too that I'm going to talk deeper about how a narcissist, or when a narcissist is going to use the hope trap. So first, again, they can use it at any time. All right, and they might use it at any time just to keep you hooked. But if you notice that they keep doing bad things, and they keep sometimes apologizing all the time after doing things that you would never do to them, they've done it to you. Look at how unfair it is, because some of the very things you do to them, they're not going to like it. So when it's that type of relationship where they do things to you that they don't want done to them, and they can't handle it, and they expect you to forgive them for the very things that they're going to hold over your head if you do those very things to you, that's how you know you're in a hope trap. Okay, so again, before they might feel like there's a potential you might leave, so they'll use it. During that time that you might be thinking about leaving, they might have evidence. And this is why you should not be so obvious whenever you're about to pull away from a narcissist. Okay, so during and after, these are the times where they will use the hope trap on you. All right, before, maybe they might anticipate at some point you're gonna get tired of them, so they make a regular interval to try to be good to you, and then abuse you again, and then get worse and worse. Okay, during, they find out that you might be about to leave, you done got fed up with them, you told them, you know what, I'm done, you do that one more time, I promise you I'm leaving. And so they might straighten up for a moment, and then after. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story that I got concerning after. I remember when I was in a relationship with somebody that was trying to use the hope trap on me. Okay. What happened was, the person then did, it was just like every time you gave that person a chance, that person went further, 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 further. It then went through disrespect, tearing up property, everything like that. And then when I finally cut that person loose, and I'm scot-free from that person, now you're getting all these poetic messages, all these nice messages, all of a sudden, all these kind messages. I hope you're doing well. Oh, well, I was just going through things when that was happening. I know this happened, and I did this to you, and I did that to you. So now the narcissist used that hope trap through vulnerability. So now they're coming from the heart. They really are coming from the heart, but they're still going to revert back. Okay. So don't let the poeticness of how they're talking to you when you made it out their grasp drag you back. Don't go back to it. They start talking different when they could have been talking different to you all before, even with your family. Okay, your family, when they realize you don't play with them or whatever, they'll do the same thing. So don't just pin it to just a relationship situation. The difference between family is you may stay in contact with them regularly, but the way you handle that is you just keep distance. Okay, you don't have to cut them off completely unless they are dangerous or unless they are a liability. But with somebody that you ain't gotta be with, you don't have to have them in your life. Don't contact them. Don't check their social media. Let them go. That's the biggest checkmate to somebody that done dogged you out. Okay, let them go in peace. And ooh, y'all, let me tell y'all, When you at peace, that aggravates the narcissist. It aggravates them because they know you're above them. When I mean you're above them, you're beyond them, you're over it. Okay. So when you get to that state of peace, of I don't care what you want to do. It's just like what I told you. Those of y'all that listened to my messages before, when I say tug of war, it's like when you're arguing with a person and you pulling the rope and that person pulling the rope, the object is to get the person over the line. But if you let go of the rope and y'all both tugging at the same intensity, what happens? That rope flies into the other direction of the person. They got everything they want, but you let go of the rope. You stop stressing once you let go of the rope and walk the other way. You let them have the rope. That's what they wanted. Just like an argument. If you drop that argument, because I know we're trained to argue and get the last word and stuff, but when you argue with a narcissist, it doesn't work like that. Or if you argue with a fool, it doesn't work like that. You let them have the rope, you go the other way. They got the last word like they wanted. And what's always gonna happen after is they're gonna want to say more when you let it go. They're gonna want you to argue more. They're gonna want to keep it going. But if you don't keep it going, they got nothing to go on. So that's a checkmate. All right. So to go over it real quick before we wrap things up, a hope trap, once again, is where a person that is a narcissist or manipulative give you a glimpse of hope that that relationship is going to get better by doing nice things, small tokens of kindness, or giving you a glimpse of hope that things will get better, and it doesn't. Okay, and they do that so that you won't go nowhere. And again, they can use it at any point in your relationship. um Before, before you even think about leaving, they'll use a hope trap. During, when they realize you might leave, they might try to get it together so that you will stay longer. Or after, like once they, because the after part is when they took you for granted and you done got away from them, and now they're thinking they can get you to crawl back. There's some people that go back and say, oh well, she changed or he changed and things like that. No, because they do like 50 million things. I'm exaggerating, 50 million things before you walk out that door. That's horrible to you. And then once you leave, they say some kind words to get you back. No, ma'am, no, sir. We're not going back to what we know is dangerous. We're not going back to what we know has broke us. Okay. And you, especially, I tell y'all this. Oh my goodness, I'm telling y'all this. Do not go back expecting them to heal you after they done broke you. They done put you through the pain and the hurt. They ain't tried to listen to you when you was with them. Family, I don't care who it is. When you tried to do your due diligence and none of your due diligence work, you tried to talk, you tried to write notes. Some of them you write notes and they rip it up, show you they don't care. Okay, I did that with somebody one time before. After they done did that, they just pretty much showed you that they don't care. All right, so when a person too, when you got to realize that you're substance. So when they, for them to go after you, you got to have something. So they're losing a benefit when you shut that door and you're a good person. All right. Um, Never go back to it because it always gets worse because they're used to your kindness and they just think you're not gonna go nowhere. All right. One of the main things I want to say before we get off of here, because this here is a matter of safety. So I have to say this. This is a matter of safety. Never be obvious about leaving concerning a narcissistic person, a dangerous person, a careless person, a diabolical behaving person, whoever this narcissist is in your life or relationship or whatever, family, romantic relationship. Never be obvious about your distance. Plan quietly. Plan quietly. Don't let them see you packing up stuff or whatever. Don't let them see you packing up stuff. You get your, one tactic that somebody did years ago to get out of a abusive relationship, because essentially a narcissist is abusive. And an abuser is somebody that mistreat or misuse somebody or something over and over. So this person, when she was fed up with her abuser, she slowly but surely, but she wasn't obvious, starting setting things up in a way that when she was ready to make her run, okay, when she was ready to make her run, she had her things sectioned off so she could just grab the things that she really needed for her and her children and never return. And she has also started setting up a place where they could go to that had no address, like a women's shelter or something like that. But even if you don't go to a women's shelter, men or women, wherever you got to go to get away from a person that might flag you down, you might want to find an address, a friend, or somebody that abuser don't know about or whatever. But you want to be very strategic, okay? Um, I want to make sure that is all. All right. So again, never go back to abuse, and always never be obvious about what you're about to do or whatever. Don't tell them what I'm about to leave, I'm about to go. Um you want to you want to pretend like, make like, just make like nothing's happening, cuz like pretend argue with them. Pretend argue with them. I don't mean cuss or sin or anything like that. But you don't want them to know that you're leaving. You want to keep everything as natural as possible. So one day when they look up, you're gone. And I'm talking about for safety reasons. That's why I'm telling you this, for safety reasons. Okay. So I hope this message has blessed you to know what a hope trap is and how a narcissist will use it to keep you contained, to keep you from going anywhere. If you recognize it, if you recognize it, then definitely start trying to plan your getaway. And I want to emphasize safety, because I hate to hear stories about how when a person gets away from this person and you find out this person's psychotic or the abuser psychotic, and they come back and take that person's life. So you want to start thinking about this person, and don't sleep on these people. Please do not sleep on these people. All right. So, oh, and most important, because this is what I had to do. So you all, I apologize. You all, I apologize. My phone got overheated. I'm gonna have to do better, y'all. I can't keep doing. I'm gonna wrap it up. Bottom line is, I want to emphasize safety when dealing with these individuals. I want to emphasize how important it is to um to consider your mental health, because too, if you don't, let's say if you decide, well, words don't hurt you, words will get to you. The Bible lets you know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So to say that words don't hurt you, it can harm you, it can get to you, it can wear you down. So you don't want to let these narcissists get away with it. Hold these people accountable. When your presence is not respected, give them the gift of your absence. Okay. um Again, safety first. Make sure that, whenever you plan your exit, they cannot access you. Um, do everything you can to be safe. So before I get off here, I'm just going to go to the chat and say hello to all of y'all who have been on here. I appreciate the compliment. Thank y'all so much for joining me on here today. I would definitely pray for all of you that have joined, and those that really feel like they benefited from this information. Again, thank y'all, and I apologize for the interruption in the live stream. I will do what I can to try to be back next week with some more ways of really beating out these narcissistic tendencies. Also, pray for these people. Pray for them. You never know what God can do concerning them. You never know how God will put them in a place where they have to surrender. And while they might need to, while they will need to surrender, you don't have to stick around while they beat you up in the process. Okay. And this is for anybody that's going through it. Okay. And if you've gotten through it, share something on this post to encourage somebody. You don't have to tell your personal business, but maybe a tip or something to encourage somebody concerning a narcissistic person getting away from narcissistic abuse, something that we may not realize concerning these types of relationships. Other than that, y'all, God bless.